I sort of went carnivore for about a month. Hey folks, my name's Allie. Let's get started. So I've been hearing a lot about carnivore keto for maybe the past year or so. People that I follow on Instagram talk about it often, and they always post really good food that they're eating. And so I decided to try it just because I have food issues, and so when it comes to food, I have that emotional attachment. And it's gotten to the point where even though I like all I eat is keto friendly foods that are allowed on keto, I still have this issue where I want to binge on the sweeter side of keto friendly foods. And I think a lot of people can identify with that. It's what I did before I ever lost my weight. I used to weigh 320. I've gotten down to 150, and I've been in maintenance up and down about 5 pounds. So after a particular binge of peanut butter and I think like cream cheese fluff that I had made, it was probably up to like 156. So I decided that just to cut down and get back to where I wanted to be at 150, I was gonna try carnivore keto. So before I really start the video, I want to talk about how, I always mention this, but keto is going to be different for everybody based on what their physical and emotional needs are and what their goals are and what their lifestyle is like. Generally, I follow a pretty simple approach to keto. I try and stick to meats and vegetables, nuts, and maybe a sweet treat usually. But those sweet treats and those nuts definitely were getting in my way of maintaining weight loss because they were just getting to where I craved them all the time because I always allowed them. And so sweet treats to me are like dark chocolate, like 90 or 86% dark chocolate squares. Nuts like pecans. Oh, I love pecans, almonds, even peanuts. I allow peanuts on keto. Peanut butters, almond butters, things like that. Cream cheese fluff. So things that are technically keto if you eat them in moderation, but things that can throw you out of keto, especially if you overeat, and things that can help you or make you gain weight because you're overeating on those calories. And so for me, if it was like a weekend and maybe I went out, had a few drinks, came back home a little hungry, inhibitions are lowered, I would just eat too much of those things and I was gaining weight because of it. Most of it was water weight. I doubt I gained more than an actual pound of fat. But I could definitely see it, after maybe every couple weeks, I'd go up the very next day after one of those nights and I'd see like an added like 5 or 6 pounds of water weight, and I don't like seeing that. So I decided to try carnivore keto, and my main reason was to kind of get away from that addiction of needing to have those temptation foods that I would want to binge on, and try and just kind of reset my taste buds to a more healthy way of eating keto. So I never started it intending to go long term with it. It was more of like a quick fix. Just to kind of get me back on track to where I wanted to be. Now, in the past, I've sort of gone carnivore. I was just really broke and in grad school, and so I kind of lived for maybe a few weeks here or there, and sporadically throughout a year on deli meats and like string cheese because I was poor. I was in grad school, I couldn't afford much, and I was also very busy trying to finish up my student teaching. So like I subsisted for a couple weeks at a time throughout my first year of keto on like deli meats and cheeses. So technically I was kind of carnivore. Now what I call carnivore, I allowed basically meat and cheese and wine. And that was about it. And drinks. Like I allow diet soda. Some people don't. That's up to you. But so for me, that's what carnivore is. It's like cutting out the bulk foods, the foods that give you more volume, like nuts, especially if you overeat on them, vegetables. So for me, it was, just keeping the meats and cheeses basically food wise. So of course, as always, I made a list of the foods. I went back through my food log on my phone, which I'm filming with, and I kind of made a list of the foods that I was eating throughout that month that I just did, going my version of carnivore. And so I had Italian sausages, the spicy Italian sausages that I like for lunch. I was having cold cut turkey and cheese. I cut off a couple ounces of brie cheese for my lunch. I also had a few servings of pork medallion. And so like if you've watched my other videos, I'll do like the same lunch all week and then I'll change it the next week. and I'll do the same dinner all week, and then I'll change it the next week. So those are my few lunch options that I had. For dinner, I mostly stuck to chicken breasts because I like the volume that I get from a chicken breast rather than like a little chicken thigh, calorie wise. So I was sticking to chicken breasts with cheese, either brie or cheddar melted on top. And for 1 week, I did like a ranch sauce just to make it super duper tasty. And then, so I did that for a week. Then I switched to boneless burgers and chorizo. So the boneless burgers I had, I just grilled them on the stove and I've seasoned them. You know, I don't count seasonings mostly, carb wise or calorie wise. So I had boneless burgers with blue cheese crumbles on top for dinner, and then I had just chorizo, like the meat sausage, and it was really, really good. And then also too, I allow red wine because it's a lower carb alcoholic beverage. And like I said, diet soft drinks, water. I like Crystal Light, so I included that as well. So that was my version of carnivore. And let's talk about what I experienced. So during that whole month, I felt good. I did not lose any type of energy. I thought that, you know, because I'm on my feet all day for work. I'm a teacher, so I get there right before 8, and I'm like on my feet until 4. Sometimes I stay late. I'm walking like to the print room. I'm just constantly monitoring because that's, you know, a teaching strategy is just be on your feet. Don't sit behind your desk. So I'm just constantly walking. So I was afraid that I would be tired, but I really wasn't. So I didn't have any issues with feeling like I was worn out or that I was lacking energy. I was a little afraid of having like a slowdown of my digestive system, if you know what I'm talking about. That didn't happen. No issues there that I can really talk about. And I will say that I did a live Instagram video with Dr. Kim Berry, and I mentioned that I was afraid of that trying carnivore. And he said that, you know, from the people he's talked to and in his experience, that hasn't been an issue. And I didn't find that it was an issue for me. I did find that after about the 3rd day, I was not craving my dark chocolate or peanut butter or anything like that. Like I had kind of reset my taste buds, and I was okay. Like it didn't bother me at night anymore after about the 3rd or 4th night to not have those things. Usually I allow myself a serving of those, like 32 grams of peanut butter or like 2 to 3 squares of dark chocolate. So it wasn't an issue after the first few days. So like I said, I use it to help me to kind of get back to where my goal weight is, because I had binged like the day prior to trying this out. And it did work. I got back down to the 150. I was happy that that happened. I expected it to happen because I was really just cutting it. Like, you know, once you go carnivore, you're really cutting out all those carbs. So you're losing that water weight super duper quick. So yeah, I definitely lost the water weight trying this out. I noticed that I didn't have to like naturally track carbs. Like I tracked my first couple meals of the week, and then for the rest of the week I wouldn't track because I knew I wasn't going over on carbs or calories, because it's just you're eating, well for me, like I eat the same thing all week. So it wasn't like I had to like keep tracking. Like I knew I was having the same servings as the previous night. I was measuring them out when I cooked them. Like the bunless burgers, I had already put them into patty form and I had measured them out. Basically, I took like a pound and divided it into 4, so each one was 4 ounces kind of thing. And then with the chicken breasts, what I did for that was, if there were 6 breasts, I take the net weight on the package and divide it by 6. So each breast came out to the same, even though they might have differentiated a little bit. I don't care about that. It's going to be the same throughout the whole week, basically. So I noticed that I didn't have to track as much carb or calorie wise when I was on carnivore keto. I noticed that I wasn't super focused on dinner. Like dinner is like my big meal usually. It's like what I look forward to when I come home from school. So that could be a pro, but also it's kind of like the highlight of my day. So let's move into cons. Like I wasn't excited about dinner. And guys, I have food issues. Maybe it's not good to be excited about dinner, but I really want to enjoy my dinner. You know, I'm working all day. You know, like I have like a small lunch, whether it's, you know, a couple sausages or something, or meat and cheese, like cold cuts and brie or something. But So like when I come home, like that's like my thing is like I just want to relax, put my dinner in the oven, whatever, have a big side salad, a tasty salad that I'm going to enjoy. And so I don't know, I kind of found that the enjoyment of dinner was taken away. Maybe that's something that should happen. Maybe I shouldn't be so emotionally attached to food, but I am, and so it just kind of I didn't have something to look forward to, basically. Another con was that my groceries were a little bit more expensive because I was buying more meats, especially when I bought the burger meat because beef is so expensive. I don't even know why. It's not the best tasting meat to me. I love pork and I love chicken. Like burger meat, it's okay, but I noticed that when I bought those couple weeks of burger meat, my meat bill was basically twice what it used to be before I tried the carnivore. Another con is I like my vegetables. I love a big spring mix salad with like the radicchio and the spinach and all like the non-watery leafy greens. And I love ranch. And when I mix my modified packet ranch in there, I make my own at home. Anyway, when I mix my ranch in there, it's just so good. And I look forward to that. And so I kind of miss just having vegetables. And I kind of miss having the bulk that vegetables provide in the stomach. Right. So when you're eating more meats, all of those calories are condensed into smaller physical portions. But when you eat vegetables, you can eat, this much and it's, like the same calorie wise with like some dressing or something. So I kind of miss that bulk and I miss the taste of my vegetables. And personally, I just like the idea of having a more diverse diet. And I know on keto, it seems pretty restrictive already. Like we're not eating carbs and we're not getting all those added nutrients that they add to bread and milk and things and noodles and stuff like that. Which I take a multivitamin to help counteract, any deficiencies I might have. But I just like the idea of eating greens because they're healthy no matter how you look at, spinach. It's a healthy food. And so I always want to make sure that I'm getting my nutrients in the best way possible. And so for me, just taking a multivitamin for things I might be missing out on. And I don't know, maybe meat does have all the nutrients. I haven't really looked, but I just feel better about myself if I eat some greens. And probably the last con of carnivore is it wouldn't be sustainable for me. And I've mentioned the other cons. It's a little bit more expensive if you're buying more meat rather than some vegetables. And I need something to look forward to, whether it's my sweet treat at night, whether it's, my big side salad at night when I have my big dinner. I've already lost the weight doing regular keto, and that's already somewhat restrictive. I like keto, the regular keto. For me, it's sustainable because it's something I can get with. I can still have my treats, I can still have my pecans, and I can still have my cream cheese whenever I want, in moderation. But long term, I don't think carnivore is for me just because it doesn't meet my needs. Now, I'm sure that there are lots of people out there that do carnivore as a long-term solution for weight loss or energy or autoimmune issues or whatever. And if it works for them and you, that's great. Just my personal opinion, not gonna work for me. I did use it for a specific reason, and that was kind of to reset my taste buds and my thinking when it comes to sweeter, keto-friendly foods. So if you do decide to go carnivore, here's a little bit of advice for you. Please make sure that you hit your protein goal. I feel like there can be issues when, on keto we say, oh yeah, go for that higher fat meat all the time. But if you're definitely looking at calories in order to lose weight, and you're eating those higher fat meats all the time, you might find that you're not getting enough protein while you're eating those higher fat meats because you're going to hit your calorie goal before you hit your protein, or you're going to hit your calorie limit before you hit your protein goal. And so definitely try and incorporate a variety of meats, higher fat, higher protein, leaner meats too as well. That's just my advice. I've explained in my 2 hair videos that I've had hair issues, and when I fixed my protein, my hair kind of started growing back after a year. So definitely hit your protein goal. And related to that, when it comes to the calories, make sure you're not overeating on calories. If you go carnivore, if you're eating a pound of bacon, that's a lot of fat. And so if you're noticing a stall on carnivore, when your goal is weight loss, track your calories, see how much fat you're eating. See if you can maybe substitute in some leaner meats so that you feel full while also being able to be at a better calorie deficit. Don't get too caught up in the labels. Like my version of carnivore was meats, cheeses, even diet soda. I had some wine. Like that's my version because I was cutting out pretty much everything else, all the vegetables, all the nuts, all the like sweets, so things like that. So that was my version of carnivore. So don't get caught up in labels. Labels are stupid. You know, like I said in my Keto Please video, do what's best for you. Try it out the way that you want to try it out. So you know your limits, you know your needs, and so you know what's best for you. Also, figure out why you want to do this. You know, I did it to reset my taste, basically. And I knew it wasn't going to be long term. So, you know, I don't walk away from this feeling like a failure. Like, I just started eating vegetables back this week on Monday or Sunday. So I don't feel like a failure that I stopped carnivore, right? I'm still on keto. I'm doing what I lost all my weight with. Like, I just kind of used it as a tool to get me back on track to where I wanted to be. So know your goals. Again, you know, do what's best for you. Well, folks, that is about it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video and my experiences going my version of carnivore. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram at keto_Allie. I also have a Pinterest. If you like those Pinterest videos, adventures in Pinterest, definitely follow me there, and you can see all the pins that I create or that I pin to my boards. And I also have a blog, and you can find me on Facebook as well. As luck would have it, I just saw this stuff in the grocery store. It's the almond milk non-dairy Ready Whip in a can. And you know, I'm not against processed stuff, but this stuff is for 5 grams, which I always measure out on my gram scale, usually. It's 1 gram of carbs and 10 calories, so not too bad. So, bottoms up. Yeah. See, like, this is my version of keto. All right, you guys, I will see you next time. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.